One of the first items on the agenda when the State Capture Commission of Inquiry resumes former President Jacob Zuma's return to the witness stand. Tomorrow, Commission Chairperson Raymond Zondo is expected to hear why the former president has failed to appear on numerous occasions. For more on the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, now joined by SABC News reporter Ntlanhla Kgatlana. Good evening and welcome to the Full View. So what's expected to happen tomorrow? Well,
good evening, Eldrin. One of the highlights expected to happen tomorrow for 2020, it is the reappearance of former President Jacob Zuma to appear. We know that tomorrow the legal team from the Commission is going to try and subpoena him to ensure that, or they force him to come back before the stand, especially after he failed to come before the Commission last year twice. I mean, we know that the first time he had to appear in court, the second time his legal representative told the Commission that former President Jacob Zuma was very ill. And subsequent to that, there were reports that he was receiving treatment abroad. So we expect that to be tabled tomorrow before the Commission. But also we know that his legal team will not take none of that. Because, I mean, let's talk about, perception of people, especially with regards to former president being a central figure, or due to other testimonies that, people view him as somebody who's trying to avoid to appear before the Commission. We know that his legal team will not allow that.
Is it clear yet why it is that the Commission, at least the investigators, and are thinking about having the president subpoenaed to appear before the Commission of Inquiry? Is there a view that they have that the president is avoiding to appear before the Commission?
I mean, if you've been following State Capture last year, when the president appeared before the Commission, a lot of things happened during the proceedings. If you remember, you saw his legal team, constantly standing up, raising objections during the proceedings, saying that, they believe the president was being cross-examined. Even him, the president, came out to say that I believe this proceedings today unfair to me. But also, I think, it's because, like I already mentioned, that it's probably, because of his proximity to the Guptas. And, when you speak State Capture, you have to highlight Gupta somewhere, that, the president is always linked to them, that, he would be, they would want him to come before the Commission. And also the fact that, he postponed 2 times last year.
Is Dan Mancha, the president's lawyer, clear about why they are opposing this bid to have the former president subpoenaed?
I think also it's because, last year when, he kept on standing up during the proceedings, you could tell that he was very observant in terms of how, the Commission was handling former President Jacob Zuma. I mean, like I said, they already said that, the president could not come because he had a court case to attend to. Second one, he was ill. They believe that probably, he was supposed to be excused. But, with a perception out there also saying that, why it seems like the president is trying to avoid to come before the Commission. They wouldn't want to find themselves in a position whereby, they are subpoenaed, because that would really look bad in the public's eye.
But tomorrow we don't expect the former president physically to be inside that inquiry room?
No, we don't. His legal team will be there.
Okay, so no witnesses then tomorrow. When do we expect the first witness to appear before the Commission of Inquiry in the year 2020?
On Wednesday, we know that the Commission now, when it takes its work forward, is going to be dealing with law enforcement agencies, especially after testimonies of Robert McBride. I mean, you're talking about former Hawks boss, Johan, and in KwaZulu-Natal, Johan Boysens, who came out, and, put forward the serious, testimonies, saying that, people were being charged for investigating, saying that there was a system in place whereby if you are an investigator and you are handling a big case and that case was linked to somebody senior, then, you'll be frustrated and charges will also be put to you so that they just defocuses you. So we know that, that's what's going to happen.
So it's going to be law enforcement agencies. Let's just quickly speak about the Commission's report, or rather the Commission's inquiry is supposed to end in March. That is the schedule that we have. But of course, they have applied for an extension. What happens now in between?
We know that last year, it was put forward, especially during the Commission, that, it needed more time. I mean, leaving a lot of spectators, would opine to it, saying that, even though it has done a lot of job, more still needs to be done with regards to revelations that came out of there. We know that, Deputy Judge Zondo is supposed to table a final report next year, the year 2021. But they also said that they needed more time to to finalize other witnesses. I mean, just to mention, we know that, one of the most anticipated witnesses to come forward is, the president now, President Ramaphosa, who's also expected to come before the commission, because during that alleged time of state capture, he was the deputy president.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ntlantla Kgatlana. Actually, on that particular point, the ANC did say that when the Commission of Inquiry comes to an end, the president of the country, who's also the president of the ANC, will appear before the Commission of Inquiry to give a point of view from the ANC side, as well as his tenure as deputy president of the country. Let's move over to this story. Public Works Minister Patricia de Lille says government employees doing business with the state will face the music. This is after she revealed